Hey YouTube, I'm back. And today we're going to go over some really cool stuff. I'm very sorry that I haven't been with you for a couple of days. I had to make sure I got myself checked out. The air quality here in the Las Vegas Valley and Henderson Valley is pretty bad. So we had to go and make sure we're okay with the breathing thing. I still got my little name call tag on here. But anyway, I am here today to discuss with you about something that's very close to me about sound on the drums, and that is how to make your drum sound electronic, acoustically. So if you're interested in this and getting more information, stay tuned. We're going to go deep into this one. So one of the greatest things about this instrument is how you could turn it into pretty much whatever you want it to be, drum-wise. If you want to take this snare and have it sound really tight and cracking, with the right combination of drum heads, you could actually get that sound. Or if you want to turn it into that AC/DC back in black type of snare where it's just really fat, then again, it's all about the heads that you put on it. Is it a double ply? Is it a single ply? Do you use gaff tape and other devices to mute certain overtones out of it to get a certain tone? So these things are very important. And when it comes to the electronic drum sound, you really want to be able to emulate those things that you've heard on the drum machines and things of that sort. Coming up, being a 70s kid, coming into the 80s, one of the things that was very exciting was how in the late 70s, electronic drum sounds started to really emerge in popular music. And by the time we got to 1980, it was just no going back. Now, a lot of purist drummers felt that this was blasphemy, that this was not only blasphemy to talk like how I'm talking right now, but it was also an abomination. You replaced real live drummers with these machines that sounded very synthetic and just not good at all. So I was one of those people initially. I was fighting the whole thing of the introduction of electronic drums. And I turned around and I really began to love what they did. I have 2 electronic drum modules and a kit. I don't have it currently set up right now, but I've used it on a lot of my productions. And there's something about having the sounds that you could get off of a VST like Addictive Drums 2 or Superior Drummer 3.0. There's something about that for a producer standpoint that it gives a lot of flexibility, okay? Now, you could do that off of these right here, what I'm sitting behind. First of all, you'll need proper mics, proper drum heads, and proper tuning. And I'm going to go over that with you right now. Right now, I replaced all the heads on the drums with Aquarians. And there's only 2 companies I really favor to using, and that's Remo, Renaissance heads, and other various heads that they make, as well as Aquarians. So let me go over that, what's on these drums right now. So they're all texture coated on the top. We have the single ply 10 mil right here. We have the Force 10 on this auxiliary snare right here, texture coated. And then a single ply 10 mil here. Oh, and by the way, the Force 10 stands for 2 10 mil plies. So it ends up being a total of 20 mil on that head. Same way with the snare. This is just a texture coated single ply, but it is only a 5 mil. This is what they call the Concert 5 series right here. And then over here we have the Studio X with a little ring on the bottom of the head, and it's doing this thing. It's a texture coated as well. So with these 3 drums, I like to start with a tone that's tightening it up a little bit and making it more focused with a nice ring still to it, right? To sound like a nice sample. So that sounds like this on the floor tom. So it's a very nice, pleasant tone. It really sounds great within a mix. So how I get that tone is by using some gels. And on these two particular drums, it's not just the gel itself, but a studio ring, okay? The reason why I have like drum tack dots on top of the actual studio ring is, I think I explained this once before, but when you really start laying into the drums, hitting them hard, these things flap around and they cause an unwanted distortion in the sound. So when you add these gels, it's putting weight, extra weight on it, and it's actually helping to focus in the tone of what you really want to hear, okay? So with the 12-inch snare and with the 10-inch rack tom with no studio ring, just two pieces of gel. And let me do that with the snare wires off. So let me just play these three so that you could hear what they do in unison together. And there you have the tom sound. So here's the auxiliary snare. And let's turn those snares on. I detune it so that it has a really fat sound to my ear. And it sounds a little bit electronic with a little bit of kind of a distortion thing with how I adjust the snares. Okay, so here we go. Right, so it gives me this weird kind of a texture of sound. So I really dig that. And you can really mess around with that when you're in production. Now, as far as the kick drum, this isn't a very big kick drum. This is a 16 by 16. It's made by Sonar, and it came out some years ago on their Safari kit. And again, we have the Aquarian Force 10 heads on it. And I do have quite a bit of muffling inside because I want it to sound more direct, a lot of snap, a lot of attack, because I want all of the notes of what I play with my foot to be heard, like you hear electronic music, okay? So here we are. Within the context of a groove, you get this type of thing. So now we're at the grand conclusion of all of this. As you see, I have two splash cymbals on these two snare drums, on the 14 and on the 10-inch. And you see a lot of drummers doing this these days, along with stacking cymbals, getting very unique sounds. And it just opens up a whole new thing. and how to get a little bit of that electronic music sound off of your acoustic drums, right? So when we do that, this is, again, with a 5 mil head on it. And when we go to the actual cymbal on it, and then over here, I have a 6-inch splash on this snare. Right? And you just really start to give you ideas. The most simplistic beat can take on a whole new life form with it, okay? Like, for example, something like this here. Just an example. So have fun, people. Get into it. Help create your sound and create all types of new textures and all types of stuff. And most of all, just have fun. Okay? All right.